Bullshit, no time. Free rail, he'll be back in no time. Get money, flip bricks in no time. Dex tripping on the beach, no time. Amount of time I got for bullshit, no time. Free rail, he'll be back in no time. Get money, flip bricks in no time. Dex tripping on the beach, no time. Get money, get dollars, bruh. Scrooge McDuck, bang, don't misuse your luck. Fuck the income, I do it for the outcome. I'm in it for the long run. Think about it, then hit the weed and think about it. Like Gutter say, nigga, we gon' see about it. My nigga just got hit, I'm waiting on the word. I pray to God he pulled through for the family sake.
What's up?
What's up? What's poppin'? Hey yo, it's NateDoggSac916 coming at you live from Sacramento. Hey, y'all know what to do, man. Hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell. And if you want to keep catching this fire content, hit all on that notification bell so you get every time I post, man. And go down in the comments and let me know what you want to see. Any comments you might have about the video you just watched, let me know. And you can always hit me on Instagram at Nate.Dog916. So now, let's get into it. Alright, so without further ado, man, what they call you, where you from, brother?
Alright, so,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I go by Double M, and I come from the northern end of the Sacramento Valley.
Okay, Sacramento Valley, I already know what it is, it's 916. So, tell me, man, what was it like for young Double M growing up in the northern part of the Sacramento Valley, my brother?
Okay, well, you know, I grew up in a house that I was fortunate. You know, I was one of those kids that grew up in a house that had both of his parents. You know, both my parents were home. My father was a two-time Vietnam vet. He didn't have no daddy, so he always used to say the military was his daddy. You know, and he brought some issues into the home that he tried to work out and did the best he could. You know, my mother, she came from Tennessee, Southern woman, highly religious. Both of them was pretty handy with the belt. You know, it was a different era. It was the 70s. You know, when a time when people didn't hesitate to, you know, put their hands on their kids when they was out of line. Right. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in our family, sometimes those disciplines went a little too far. Okay. You know, sometimes those disciplines crossed into what we call abuse, man. Right.
Now,
so
abuse back in those days or abuse now?
Oh, abuse. I would say abuse in any era. You know.
Oh, okay.
You know, it would be what we would consider to be child abuse. You know, they really ruled with force, fear, and violence. Okay. You know, if you didn't do what they said, you got your ass whooped. Right. You know, and sometimes if one of my siblings didn't do what they said, we'd still get our ass whooped.
Everybody get a whooping.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Everybody. Right. You know, but what's interesting, right, is now that I'm older, I can reflect back and see the way that it affected us. Right. You know, I never really felt safe at home. You know, my home was a place where you had to walk on eggshells because anything could lead to you getting your ass whooped, you know? Right.
So would you say that basically anytime you were at home, you were like on eggshells?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you ever see those kids that when you move in their direction, they flinch?
Yes.
I was one of those.
Oh, okay.
You know, because unfortunately it wasn't just my parents, but I'm the youngest of 5. Right. So being the youngest, you know that saying, shit rolls downhill.
Absolutely.
So not only was there violence coming from my parents to us as kids, but there was violence in between us as well. Right. You know, so I learned, you know, really early, you know what I'm saying, to stay out of my older siblings' way, you know, at the threat of an ass whooping, you know. Okay. We lived in a community where at that time, that in this era, this was still the era of the fair one. You know, it really wasn't the shootings and the stabbings that you have commonplace now. Back then, it was all about the fair one, man. Right. And in my community, violence was reinforced, the use of violence. If somebody wanted a fair one with you, if somebody wanted to see you about something, and you went down to buy some bubble gum from the corner store, the man behind the counter was allowed to be like, hey, man, you know Joe Blow looking for you, right? And you literally had to go show up and handle your business.
Right. Go get your fade.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, one of the things that I learned pretty early on was that violence equals safety in my world.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? Can you say that again? Because I want to make sure you got caught. Violence equals what?
Violence equals safety.
Safety. Okay. Yes, sir.
Those who were most safe in my world, in my childhood world, were those who were most willing to commit violence.
Right.
And sometimes being willing wasn't enough. You had to actually commit violence. People had to know that you will commit violence if your toes are stepped on.
Absolutely.
Those were the people that were most safe. And all I wanted to be as a child was safe because it's what I never felt.
Right. Wow, that's deep. Hold on. Let that sink in for a second, people, man. The man said that all he wanted to do was feel safe because that's something he never had. And in his mindset, violence equaled safety. So your home life ended up rolling you out to the streets to where you jumped off the porch at some point.
Absolutely. And brother, another one of the things that propelled me was that in our home, it wasn't just emotional violence, it wasn't just physical violence, but there was also sexual abuse from an older sibling, and that's one of the things that really propelled me out to the streets, because I always kind of looked at it as, well, you hang out in the streets, bad things might happen, right? But at least out in the streets, you got a fighting chance.
Right.
At home, you know what's going to happen. So I never wanted to be there. I remember the last day of 5th grade, all the other kids in school were excited because they were about to, get to go be out for summer break.
Right.
I was miserable.
Right.
I had to pretend to be excited just so I could fit in with everybody else. But righteously, I never wanted to be home.
Oh.
Yeah.
So school.
That's what propelled me out into the street.
So school was really your safe place.
Absolutely.
Or actually anything. I'm sorry to interrupt.
And I didn't do my work, but it wasn't at home.
Okay.
It wasn't home.
Okay, so it's like basically your home life forced you out into the streets in order to search for that same safety you spoke of earlier.
Absolutely. And because my pops, the funny thing about my pops, right? He was a giant of a man. He was 6'4", 6'5" in his socks, 300 pounds. Solid, big old dude, man.
Right.
And he was respected or feared by everybody in my community.
Okay.
So I could venture out as a little guy and go anywhere, and the thing was, oh, that's big old son. That's big old son.
Okay.
So I was embraced. So I felt safe. I felt embraced by even the thugs, man. They was like, oh man, hey, you want to sip this beer? That's cool. Don't tell your daddy.
Right. So, okay, so I don't know if you want to elaborate any more on the childhood. I believe that that's enough, not enough, but the household. So first of all, were you a part of a gang? Were you part of a gang, or were you just in the neighborhood you lived in?
So what's funny, right? I would have told you I was not part of a gang.
Right.
Because we didn't have colors, we didn't have a name, we didn't have hand signs. But what I understand now is I absolutely was a part of the gang.
Okay.
Because we was a group of cats that were hustling, that were jumping on dudes from other places, that were jumping on dudes that came there from other places.
Oh, yeah.
So, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a gang.
I've been part of many gangs.
Yeah, that's a gang. Okay, so you out in the streets. You already out there seeking some kind of safe haven away from home anyway, and you were drawn to the street hustlers and the gang. Well, the thugs, let's say, or the gangsters.
Right.
Did you get in trouble out there as a kid?
Wasn't just... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you get in trouble out there as a kid, indulging in this type of lifestyle?
Not at first, not at first. At first, it was just fun, man. It was pure acceptance, I was little Mikey, everybody knew me. Everybody was willing to embrace me, You know, and so what I discovered when I used to sneak out the window, I'm talking 11 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, sneaking out the window to go hang out down the block. And it was like a whole nother world being outside down at the spot after the sun go down.
Right,
the world that I should have been in, the daytime world, was totally different from what happened at night on these spots. And it's exciting to me. But also what I found felt like a remedy for everything that I hated about my life. See, at that time, I used to have night terrors behind the abuse that I suffered, you know? And so I discovered when I hung out and started being able to sip on beer, puffing on a little bit of pot, I discovered something. When you go to sleep high or drunk, you don't dream. That felt like a remedy for one of the things I was most ashamed of growing up, you know?
Right.
You know, another thing was, you got to remember, this is, you know, now, when I was 12 years old, it was 85. So this is, crack is hitting now.
Right.
You know, as shameful as it is to say, you know, at 12 years old, I could get the services of prostitutes, man, with a crack rock.
Wow.
And that remedied another thing that bothered me. I felt like, because of the abuse that I had suffered, I felt like my manhood was within question.
Right.
So crack gave me sexual access to grown women.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so everything...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Everything that I encountered out there in the streets felt like a remedy to the things that I hated most about my life. So I wasn't getting in trouble yet. I was committing crimes. I was holding weed for people. I was looking out for people, those types of things. There was a guy that used to give us $5 for tearing up wax paper so he could make his bindles back when they used to sell cocaine in bindles.
Right. I remember that.
So it was that level was my interaction.
Okay.
And I was really getting my self-esteem needs met because it was good job, man. He all right, man. He good, man.
Right. Okay. So you out here, you holding packs, you passing off crack rocks. Did you ever start selling drugs yourself?
Absolutely. You know, it started off innocently enough. You know, we would get those old school big pens, the old school white ones, and we take the pen filler part out and roll a little joint and put it up in there and put the cap back on it.
Right.
And you know, we did the junior high school selling pens for $2. You know. And that's how it began. But you know, again, you know, when you have a kid that you know, we go to school and we hear if you work hard and study and go to college and get a good job, you can have a good life. But then I'm going home and I'm seeing dudes, you know, making $400, $500, $600 a day selling drugs. Okay, as a child, in your mind, you think, well, damn, fuck school. I'm gonna go out here. I wanna get some money.
Right.
So for me, it was a tragic but an easy decision.
Of course, absolutely.
And it had consequences that I couldn't see at that time.
Okay. Now, did these consequences ever lead you to juvenile hall?
60 seconds remaining.
Did these consequences ever lead you to the juvenile facilities?
You know, only once. And it was, it was actually for taking a smoker's car. It was a smoker had let us use his car, and of course we didn't bring it back when we should have, and so he reported it stolen. And it just so happens that, you know, when they went to pull us over, I was drinking and driving, and I wrecked into a house, man.
And how old were you when this happened?
I was 15.
So you're 15, you're about to hit juvenile hall for the first and only time.
Yeah.
Bullshit, no time. Free rail, he'll be back in no time. Get money, flip bricks in no time. Dex tripping on the bitch, no time. Amount of time I got for bullshit, no time. Free rail, he'll be back in no time. Get money, flip bricks in no time. Dex tripping on the bitch, no time. Get money, get dollars, bruh. Scrooge McDuck, bang, don't misuse your luck. Fuck the income, I do it for the outcome. I'm in it for the long run. Think about it, then hit the week, think about it. Like Gutter say, nigga, we gon' see about it. My nigga just got hit, I'm waiting on the word. I pray to God he pulled through for the family sake.
What's up?